kept a steady rhythm against the windows of their Seattle apartment as Michael flipped through a stack of mail. It was a damp Friday in November, the kind of evening that begged for takeout and a movie. He'd been married to Lauren for 9 years, a partnership forged in late-night debates, and shared dreams of a simple life. She was a graphic designer, her creativity spilling into their home with colorful sketches pinned to the fridge and half-finished canvases in the spare room. Michael, a civil engineer, grounded her flights of fancy with his quiet practicality. They were a team, or so he'd believed. Before we jump in, real quick, most of you who enjoy these videos still haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, please take a second to hit that button. It helps with channel growth so much and means more than you know. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. Now, let's begin. Lauren was late. She texted earlier, saying she'd be stuck at the studio finishing a client project. "Don't wait up," she'd written, followed by a heart emoji. Michael didn't mind. Her deadlines often stretched into the night. He ordered Thai food, poured a beer, and settled onto the couch, the TV flickering with a documentary about lost civilizations. But as the clock ticked past 10 p.m., a nagging unease crept in. She hadn't called, hadn't texted again. He sent a quick message, "You okay?" and watched the screen. No reply. Midnight, the unease had hardened into worry. He called her, but it went straight to voicemail. Her voice, bright and familiar, promised to call back. He paced the living room, the rain's drumbeat now a taunt. Finally, at 1:14 a.m., headlights swept across the curtains. Lauren stumbled in, her dark blonde hair damp and clinging to her face, her coat dripping onto the hardwood. "Sorry," she muttered, avoiding his eyes. "The project ran long, and my phone died." "You could have borrowed someone," Michael said, his tone sharper than intended. She shrugged, peeling off her coat. "Didn't think of it. I'm beat going to bed." She disappeared upstairs, leaving a faint whiff of something unfamiliar, cologne, maybe. Not hers. Michael stood there, staring at the puddle she'd left, his mind spinning. Next morning, she was back to herself, brewing coffee, teasing him about his messy hair. But the cologne lingered in his memory, a ghost he couldn't shake. He tried to dismiss it. Stress, he told himself. Imagination. Yet over the next few weeks, the cracks widened. She started taking calls outside, her voice hushed. She'd leave for meetings with vague explanations, returning with flushed cheeks and distracted smiles. Once, he found a receipt in her pocket dinner for 2 at a restaurant she'd never mentioned. Dated a night she'd claimed to be working late. Michael didn't confront her. Not yet. He wasn't the type to explode. He analyzed, calculated, built bridges, literal and figurative. So he began to watch. He noted her patterns, her excuses. He checked her laptop one night while she showered, finding nothing but work files and a locked folder he couldn't crack. Then came the night that broke him open. It was a Wednesday, cold and clear. Lauren said she was grabbing drinks with her friend Jenna, a fellow designer. Michael nodded, kissed her goodbye, and waited. An hour later, he drove to the bar she'd named O'Malley's, a dive with sticky floors and neon signs. Her car wasn't there. He circled the neighborhood, then expanded his search, a sick certainty growing. He found her Toyota parked outside a brick townhouse in Capitol Hill, a part of the city they rarely visited. Through a ground floor window, he saw her laughing, her head tilted back, a glass of wine in hand. Beside her sat a man, lean and sharp-featured, his hand resting on her knee. Michael didn't move. He sat in his car, the engine idling, watching as they leaned closer, their silhouettes merging in a kiss that felt like a knife. He drove home, hands shaking, and poured a whiskey. When Lauren returned at 2 a.m., smelling of wine and that same cologne, he pretended to sleep. She slid into bed, her breathing soft, and he lay there, plotting. Didn't want to lose her. Divorce was a sledgehammer. He needed a scalpel. So he turned detective. He bought a GPS tracker, slipped it under her car's wheel well. He cloned her phone's SIM card with a device he'd ordered online, syncing it to an old tablet. The data poured in texts, calls, locations. The man was Nathan, a sculptor she'd met at an art gallery opening 6 months ago. Their messages were a mix of flirtation and longing. Miss you already. Can't wait for Thursday. Thursdays, Michael realized, were her late studio nights. But the deeper he dug, the stranger it got. Nathan wasn't just an affair. The tracker showed Lauren visiting odd places, a storage unit, an industrial park, a wooded lot outside the city. Her texts hinted at something bigger. It's almost ready, he'll never know. Michael's engineer brain kicked into overdrive. Was she planning to leave him, to run off with Nathan? Or was it worse? One night, he followed her. She drove to the wooded lot, a secluded patch off a gravel road. He parked a quarter-mile back, creeping through the trees with a flashlight dimmed by his sleeve. There, in a clearing, stood a shipping container, its door ajar. Inside, he saw Lauren and Nathan, surrounded by crates and canvas-wrapped objects. She was gesturing wildly, her voice low but urgent. "We're so close," she said. "One more, and we're free." Michael slipped away, his mind racing. Free from what? Him? The next day, he broke into her locked laptop folder using a password she'd once used for everything. Sketch 1993. Inside were photos, sculptures, paintings, jewelry, all tagged with dates and locations. A document listed buyers, prices, cryptic notes. Berlin, $45 K, Tokyo, pending. It hit him like a freight train. Lauren wasn't just cheating. She was smuggling art, using Nathan as her partner in a black market scheme. The betrayal cut deeper now. It wasn't just love she traded, it was their life, their trust, for profit. He spent days wrestling with it. Confront her, call the cops, burn it all down. Instead, he chose a third path. He'd dismantle her world from the inside. He started small. He swapped a crate's shipping label, sending it to a dummy address he controlled. He hacked Nathan's email, planting fake correspondence with a buyer who demanded refunds. He watched as their operation frayed. Lauren grew frantic, Nathan paranoid. One night, he recorded them arguing in the container, Nathan shouting, "Someone, onto us." Lauren's voice cracked. "It's not Michael, he's clueless." That stung, but it fueled him. He tipped off a customs agent anonymously, pointing them to the storage unit. Within a week, the feds raided it, seizing crates of stolen art, some looted from private collections, others forged. Nathan was arrested. Lauren wasn't there, but her name surfaced in the evidence. She came home that night, pale and trembling, and finally confessed. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she sobbed, sitting at their kitchen table. "It started as a side gig, selling my designs. Nathan pulled me in deeper. I couldn't get out." "And me?" Michael asked, voice cold. "Where was I in this?" She looked away. "I thought if I made enough, we'd have a better life. I was wrong." Didn't yell, didn't leave. He called a lawyer the next day, not for divorce, but to protect himself. Lauren turned state's evidence, testifying against Nathan to avoid jail. The case dragged on, headlines screaming art heist couple busted. Michael stayed, not out of love, but something harder, duty, maybe, or defiance. They lived like roommates, her guilt a wall between them. She quit design, took a job at a bookstore. He rebuilt his routines, brick by brick. Sometimes, he'd catch her staring at the rain, her silence heavier than ever. He wondered if she missed Nathan, the thrill, the art, or if she missed him, the man she'd buried under her lies. He didn't ask. Some bridges, he'd learned, couldn't be rebuilt.